Hello, Richard here from Qualis Humulus Media, and welcome to part 4 of my DVD Blu-ray journey through the archives. So today we're going to go from K through N, dibbling in P, and all the way to P. Yes, to P. There is some O's in there as well. So we start with Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the Arrow release. Really nice box set this. Pick this up from eBay. It's an 80s cult classic, and I think deserving of its own special edition. Arrow releases are always a good purchase. Kingdom of Heaven, the 4-disc director's cut, Ridley Scott. Got a lot of undue criticism when it hit the cinemas, this one. Mainly because of the cuts that were made to get it a theatrical release, to make it below 2 hours, I believe it was. This one is, yes, just over 3 hours. So, really nice set, this one. Yeah, it's a really lovely set you get. So you can get some postcards if you like postcards. That's nice. But yeah, it's well worth watching. The theatrical release, not so much. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but the extended edition, definitely. I'll put these next two together. We've got Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2 by Quentin Tarantino. I preferred this one in the cinema. I preferred this one if I'm watching at home. This one's spectacle, this one's story. Nicolas Cage in Knowing, one of his more recent hits, which was actually really good. It wasn't direct. I don't think it was direct to video. I think this actually did get a cinema release, and it's a really good film. This actually. Kong Skull Island, part of the Godzilla universe, which they seem to be making now. Really good popcorn film. You know, it's no brains. Lots of apes. Well, one, but lots of other creatures too. Okay, The Last House on the Left. This is the 2009 remake, which is actually really good. And this is the original Last House on the Left, a beautiful Arrow release, which comes with a poster, a book, and the Blu-ray. And I think, yeah, there's 3 versions of the film in this. But that's lovely hard cardboard finish to it. Still got the J card on. That's a great release, that one. Okay, we move on. Leatherface. This is the most recent entry in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, and this is like a prequel of how Leatherface became Leatherface. I wasn't expecting much of this with its direct to DVD release, but I was quite surprised. It's quite good. Great. It's quite good. Lego Batman. Again, I've got this digitally as well, which is why it's still in the cellophane. It's a great Batman film. It's a great Lego film, that one. License to Kill, one of my favourite James Bond films starring Timothy Dalton. If you don't know, they actually were going for a more edgier film when they brought this one out to try and revive the franchise as it was. It didn't work, which is why they went for Pierce Brosnan in the end, but I really enjoy it. It is a bit brutal in places, and it was one of the first James Bond films to actually get a 15 rating. Life. Great cast in this one. Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, Rebecca Ferguson. Yes, it copies a lot of Alien, but what sci-fi film doesn't these days? But it's great, and it's great finish, great ending to that one. The Living Daylights, another Timothy Dalton James Bond film. This was the one before License to Kill, but not alphabetically, so which is why it's coming after. It's got some great action in this, and the Aston Martin in it is fantastic. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. I also own Snatch, which was a sequel to this. It's a great film, great British film. It has aged a little in now. 1998. Oh God, I feel old now. Logan. Logan, a lovely. I don't know why I didn't get this on Blu-ray. I don't think it really matters, but it's got a lovely slip on it, that one. And that is a fantastic film. Oh, talking of fantastic films. The Lone Ranger. Now, this got a lot of a critical mauling, if you will, when it came out. But I don't think it's too bad. It was overlong. I'm just trying to look for the Yeah, 2.5 hours. Goodness.
Too long.
But I tell you what, the final train scene is a fantastic action scene. Lords of Salem. This is another Rob Zombie film. So I've recently shown you my other Rob Zombies in my collection. This is the most recent release, I think, apart from 31, which I also have. This is really weird. And if I'm being honest, probably my least favourite of his films. But it's quite, for him, it's quite, psychotic. It's not reliant on gore. It gets in your head. But it's not the greatest. Oh, no. I've gone to M. But actually, we have the Lord of the Rings before I finish my Luz. Okay, so we have Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King. These are the extended editions, okay? Because who needs the theatrical releases when you can spend another half hour looking at small men? So there you go. So all three of them. Oh, these are on DVD because I much prefer the actual DVD releases of these in terms of how they're packaged, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. So that's the 3 Lord of the Rings films, and they are really lovely collections. You get the extended releases, you get a ton of extras on there, and for extras they're actually interesting. You don't just not look at them because they bore you. These are the 2 Hobbit films I own. I don't own the 3rd one yet. I don't know why, but again, extended releases. These on Blu-ray, but you see, yeah, the outer casing's all right, but then rather than have a fold-out gatefold like they do, you're just left with that inside, and I'm not a massive fan of that. It just doesn't feel as, I don't know, epic as the DVD releases. But I will pick up the Battle of the Five Armies for completion's sake. I just do prefer the DVD releases. So maybe I might sell these and just get the DVDs. Maybe. Ponder as it will. Right, so we're on to M, I believe. Let me just check. Done now. Racing through tonight. Okay, M. Madman, another hour release of an 80s slasher classic. You might not have heard of this. You may, however, have heard of The Burning, which I featured in my first video. And this is almost the same story because there's a story which goes, both films were filmed at the same time, and there was an urban legend that the 2 film crews met up. That didn't actually happen. But they are based on the same legend, as you will, but they slightly altered this when they found out The Burning was coming out. But it is pure 80s slasher. You have to be a fan of the genre to enjoy this. I don't think you'd enjoy it if you weren't. But it's a great release from Arrow, because you can tell the actual cinema script is quite tired, and they really had to colour it up to make it look decent. Right, Mad Max. So we have the 3-disc box set of the original 3, and the most recent Fury Road. Fantastic Fury Road. I'd say the first Mad Max has aged a little bit, but it's quite different to the 2 that preceded it, because came after it, sorry. This is kind of a smaller scale, if you will, and I think that works for what it is, but I do prefer the magnificence of 2 and 3 more, and 4 is just insane. More Rats from the View Askew universe. Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob, fantastic film. I showed you Jay and Silent Bob last time. This is not quite as good as that in my opinion, but still great. It's Stephen, it's Marked for Death. One of my favourites, actually, Marked for Death. It was in his late 80s, early 90s era where he could do literally no wrong. Stephen King's The Mist. This is based on a Stephen King novel. It stars Frank Darabont, I believe that is. Yeah, sorry, it's written for the screen by Frank Darabont. It stars, the reason I said it stars the gentleman who played Frank Castle in The Punisher, which is why I said that. So Thomas Jane's in this, and this is a really good film, and the ending, oh my goodness, harrowing. Hello, Mother. It's Mother. So, yeah, Mother. I believe this is Darren Aronofsky, director of Black Swan. This is in my eyes, is a piece of art. And there are scenes in here which will be very controversial, but they're done for a reason. And I think the idea behind the film is quite straightforward if you get it. But it's done so well. I really like this film, and it's got a beautiful slip cover on it. Shines. It's got green as well, which is very unusual for a Blu-ray. I'm not a massive fan of the blue. That's just me though. So, Murder on the Orient Express. This is the remake with, and I got this from a second-hand store. I just couldn't resist it because if you look at the cast in there, I don't know if you can see, but just insane cast. Michelle Pfeiffer, Johnny Depp, Judi Dench. Oh, that chap from Beauty and the Beast, I can't remember his name. But Kenneth Branagh, Penelope Cruz, Willem Dafoe. I mean, it's literally everyone in there. It was very good. It is what it is. It's as it says in the front, escapism. I think it's exactly what it is. I'm going to win any awards, but it's great for an escapism film. Okay, Need for Speed. Yeah, a film based on a video game. That's usually not a good sign, but this is okay, and it knows what it is. It's a lot of fast cars. You like cars, you like this film. Okay, and finally, this is from the director of Drive, whose name escapes me. Goodness, I can't remember. Oh dear. Oh, Nicholas Winding. I can't remember. It's Nicholas Winding something. I just know I own Drive. I also own Only God Forgives, which we'll be coming on to in a minute, and also I own the Neon Demon. They are, I wouldn't say they're art house films as such, but they are mental. This one especially the final 5 minutes. Oh. But it's a great film. It's just you have to be in the mood to watch them. Okay, we're on to the ends. So, yes. Oh. Steve's back in Nico, Above the Law. This was his, I believe this was his debut on the big screen. Again, this is fabulous. He hasn't quite grown his ponytail yet in this one. But as I say, he could do no wrong in this era. Let's be honest. Just be honest with ourselves. Nightmare on Elm Street, the Blu-ray collection. Now, believe it or not, this actually includes, I think, 7 films in one Blu-ray box. Not massive. That's why I haven't included this in the box set, because it doesn't even look like a box set, does it? But they're all there. They're all there. So I think you've got 2 films on one disc, if I'm right. I'm thinking, yeah. So the first one is Nightmare on Elm Street. Then you've got Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Yeah. Goodness, they're all... I mean, I love the Nightmare on Elm Street films. So disc 1, Nightmare on Elm Street. Disc 2, Freddy's Revenge and Dream Warriors. Disc 3 is Dream Master and Dream Child. Disc 4, Freddy's Dead and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And then there's a disc 5 with a load of special features in. So they've packed the films on there, which hurts the quality of the pitch a little bit. But the first one is it's in my top 5 horror films of all time. And I love Dream Warriors as well. It's not on the same scale in terms of scares, but for entertainment's sake, that's probably the best one for entertainment's sake. The first one is still my favourite. There are some duds in there. Dream Child, Freddy's Dead's awful. But Wes Craven's New Nightmare is fantastic. He came back to the series, took it back to its roots, and it was great. So, I mean, you've got 7 films on there, and I'd say 3 are very good, and 4 you can put on if you want. This is the remake. Don't watch that. No Country for Old Men, a Coen Brothers film. I read a lot about this film before I watched it, about how it's just basically in silence. There's no score at all to it. It's basically all in silence. I thought, I've got to watch this. And plus, it won Academy Award for Best Picture, which I usually don't go on because, let's be honest, look at my collection. It isn't exactly Oscar winning. But I chose right here. This is really good. Okay, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. This is Robert Rodriguez, part of his Mexican trilogy. This is the final one. Over the top, but I enjoyed it. Oh-ho, who's back? It's Steve on Deadly Ground. This one I had to get over from Australia, so you'll notice the mature rating on there. That's actually the Australian stamp on that one. Michael Caine's in this. In every way the equal of Under Siege, says San Francisco Chronicle, and who are we to argue? Only God Forgives. Another, now I'm going to read his name this time, Nicholas Winding, no, still can't read it. So, now here we go, Nicholas Winding Refn. I don't believe that's how you say it, but this is absolutely insane film, and it doesn't make any sense, but then it does, but then it doesn't again, and it has some brutality in it, which even I couldn't watch, but it's still a really good film. It's got a lovely slip to it. The Orphanage. Okay, so this was Guillermo del Toro Presents, so we didn't actually direct this. You'll see that on a few, I think on Hostel DVD it says Quentin Tarantino Presents. I never know why they do that. I think it's just to get more people to watch it. He did have something to do with this film, and it is very much in his style of horror, but he didn't actually direct it. This is a fantastic, I believe it's a Spanish horror film. Really frightening, really atmospheric. I'd watch this one. Oh, hello. Here he is again. It's Steve. Oh, and you know what I'm about to say. He could do no wrong in the late 80s and early 90s. He's got his lovely ponytail in this one. Massive shotgun. And if I remember, he kills someone with a corkscrew at the end. Oh. Okay, we're on to the P's, I believe. Yes, we are. Okay, these are all out of sync, which is never good, is it? So we start with Pacific Rim. This is the first one. And in a link to what we were just talking about, this is Guillermo del Toro. This was his take on mechs and kaijus, and I tell you what, I really liked the first Pacific Rim. It surprised the hell out of me when I went to see it. Not so much the sequel. The sequel is basically Transformers. I mean, and Transformers has a place. It does have a place, but this was actually a really good film. It's a shame the sequel went in the route of just big explosions and not making any sense, because this actually was a good film. So, next we have the Paranormal Activity series. First one still scares me when I watch that today. Second one, still really good. Third, I enjoyed it immensely, especially the last 10 minutes. I couldn't watch it. I was literally behind the sofa, and I'm a grown man. 4, I don't remember it. Sorry. 5, and 6, I think I got it for 50p and I still haven't watched it. So what you'll learn from there, quality decrease. Phenomena. This is Dario Argento, and again I picked this up from a well-known second-hand store. It's an hour release. It's supposed to be brilliant. I still haven't watched it though, which is a real blot on my copybooks. I went through a stage of wanting to get some of Dario Argento's more well-known films, and this is one of them. And I believe it stars a very young, Jennifer Connelly. And I also went to Suspiria. Still not watched that one yet. Hopefully by the time we get to S's I will have watched it. But this is supposed to be really good. And I believe Donald Pleasance is in it as well, from the Halloween series. So I'm sure that's going to be good. Platoon, a great war film. And this is when they started doing these definitive editions. I don't know what's definitive about it really. But yeah, really good film. Okay, let's get these in order. Oh, okay. Okay, if you notice some dodgy editing, that's because my teenage son dropped the phone. Good work. So, Poltergeist, 25th anniversary edition, gorgeous slip. Steven Spielberg, a fantastic film. If you've not seen this, where you been? This is the Predator trilogy. I recently upgraded my DVDs to Blu-rays because I believe I picked this up for £4 for 3 films. Predator, fantastic. Predator 2, incredibly entertaining, but it's not a great film. And the same can be said, I believe, of Predators. So, first 3 Predator films, the first one's a classic, the second 2 are very entertaining. So you can't really go wrong for a 5, can you? Well, I think at £4, sorry, I got that for. Oh, here we go. It's the Predator. This is the newest one. Again, I've got the digital release, still in the cellophane. It's incredibly entertaining. But I mean, a massive crowd pleaser, says the Hollywood News, and I think that's about it. I remember watching this in the cinema and thoroughly enjoying it and going, way. So it's that kind of film. It's like a way film. It's not like a, oh, that's really good. It's a way film. Prometheus. This is the prequel before Alien Covenant. It's the Alien series. It's Ridley Scott, and I went to see it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't get it. So I watched it again. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't get it. So I watched it again, and I enjoyed it. Pulp Fiction. I'm not going to. Do I have to say anything about Pulp Fiction? I really shouldn't have to. Okay, we've got The Punisher with Thomas Jane. Really good film. Again, I think it's aged a bit, maybe, but Kevin Nash is in it. So. And this is the sequel that no one really talks about, Punisher Warzone. I quite enjoy Punisher Warzone. It's more real to the comic books. It's far more brutal. So yeah, check it out. Especially if you like the first Punisher. It's different, but it's still really good. Okay, then we have got a box here, but I included it. You'll see why I've included it. Right, ignore the rest of the films that are on it. We've got The Purge Anarchy, Purge Election Year, and The First Purge. Okay? The reason I got this one on DVD is I picked it for 50p, and I heard it wasn't very good, and it wasn't. But I think the first one I really like, despite it not being anywhere. It's quite different from the rest because it's in one house, whereas the lot are on a much larger scale. The second one and the third one I thought were really fun action/horror films, and this one it just lost it a bit for me. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it as much. But accompanying it, I believe I got this 5 Blu-rays. I believe that was like £6, which is crazy because As Above, So Below is a really good horror film, and really spooky. Mama starts off really well. That's another one. Guillermo del Toro presents. I really wish they wouldn't do that. But Mama starts off really well, goes a bit weird, and loses its scare factor for me. And then Ouija, which is rubbish. But the sequel to Ouija was good. And I believe, just checking, that is it. So now we're going to move on to box sets. Right, so let's have a look what we've got here. We'll start with the K's. Kick ass. No, I don't like the actual box set on this. It literally is just put together as cheaply as you can. It's, it's a shame because I think they're both great films, especially the first one. The first one is fantastic. Let's not lie, the second one wasn't quite as good, if we're being honest. It was incredibly entertaining, and Jim Carrey is incredible in it. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, it doesn't last too long. But for what he is in it, he's fantastic. But the first one, wow. I love Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 2, I like. But again, I believe I gave Kick-Ass 2 like 5 out of 5 when I saw it. Oh, must have been high on jelly beans or something. But again, the box set's so cheap. It's a shame. It's a shame. This one's an interesting release. It's Peter Jackson's King Kong, which got undue criticism when it came out. You notice I say that a lot, undue criticism, because I don't agree with the critics at all half the time. For being far too long. And let's be honest, it was incredibly long. Went on for hours and hours and hours. And this is the extended edition. So how long is this? Let's have a look. See if I can tell. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Wow, that is literally nearly a whole afternoon. So, you've got film part 1 and film part 2. And this is the thing about having the extended editions on DVD. You'll often find they go over 2, which I like, because then you get like an intermission. And I love an intermission in the cinema, so screw you all. And you get a bonus disc as well. But that's how I do a box. Not a bit of gloss on it. They've tried, alright? They've tried. They didn't try with that Kick-Ass at all. They just stuck it together to sell me in. I bought it. Right. Another L. This is the Lethal Weapon box set. And I thought I'd split the box on this and I was very annoyed. It must have been the DVD set I had. Yeah, so I upgraded to the Blu-ray on this because Lethal Weapon is brilliant. I don't think there's a bad Lethal Weapon film, is there? No. There are arguments that suggest they steadily went down in quality, but they're still incredibly entertaining. And you've got this lovely embossing on this, and it's another one you can pick up for about £6 or £7. Physical Media's dying. and that's very unfortunate. But you take advantage of it and pick up some cheap ones where you can. Lost Boys collection, still not watched either of these. Now I know what you're going to say. You haven't watched the Lost Boys? I haven't watched the Lost Boys, and I own the first two. I must watch some of the films I haven't watched. I've been watching the same ones over and over again. This is one of my favourite box sets. This is out of a box set. Look at that. That is gorgeous. This is the Matrix trilogy. And I'm going to do what most people think, and then I'll do what I think. Sci-fi classic, and probably drove a genre of films for about 10 years and influenced so many films over the next 10 years. I mean, literally, bullet time was in anything, wasn't it? Anything and everything. So, sci-fi classic, and then you've got, well, they just went mental with the bullet time and didn't know what they were doing, and this one, boring, didn't make sense. Now, what I think. Fantastic sci-fi classic, 10 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyable action films with some of the best action scenes from the noughties you will find. I mean, I know the CGI and the Big Smith fight, yes, went a bit mental, but the car chase is incredible, and you're lying to yourself if you think it isn't. And it did make sense. Okay? Matrix Revolutions. The action that's in it is really cool. And it always looks like an anime at times, in the right way. And I actually quite like the resolution to it, how he gave himself. And you've got to accept there's a lot of religious connotations in this. And when you do, it makes sense. And I think it's really cool. And I think the Matrix trilogy is actually really good. And I think it's one of those, two of the films that have been so mauled, people just assume they're going to be rubbish. And then they watch them and they think, actually, they're not actually that bad. Especially the second one. The second one's such a great ride. Mission Impossible, the first 5. I still haven't seen Fallout. But this is one of those incredible series that actually gets better. 1 was a great spy thriller. 2 was a fantastic action film directed by John Woo. Then we have 3, which is J.A. Abrams. And I'm not sure about the director of the next 2. I just know they steadily actually get better. However, 2, personally, is my favourite. But they're all fabulous films. It's Tom Cruise. You literally can't go wrong with Tom Cruise. I mean, I don't think I've seen a bad Tom Cruise film. And I include The Mummy in that. I didn't mind The Mummy. Finally, because I know this is going on way too long because I've waffled, is Prom Night. I bought this box set because I wanted to watch Prom Night. And I've watched Prom Night because it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in and Leslie Nielsen. I haven't watched Prom Night 2 with Michael Ironside. Prom Night 3 with Tim Colon. What the hell's that? And Prom Night 4 with James Carver. Do you know why? Because they look bloody awful. And look how cheap these are. These are cheap. But the first one is fantastic. And you go, oh, look, I've just noticed the second one, that wasn't me jumping, it was the box. I don't know if you don't believe me. Oh, I can't do it now. Whatever. So, I've seen the second one's actually a prequel. And prequels are always a good idea. Okay, sorry, I have waffled a bit and actually haven't got through that much today. I hope you enjoyed part 4 of my DVD Blu-ray continuation, if you will. Please join us on Quality Humorous Media for our podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, give us a like on there. Give us a like and share on YouTube, if you will. And please follow our Facebook group. I'll see you in the near future. Goodbye.